What's up, Flawless fam? What's good? We're back with another episode of Flawless Fantasy Football. We're breaking down wide receivers 3 and number 4 from last year. And we're going to talk about their outlooks from this fantasy season coming up in 2022. All right, you ready? Let's jump right into it. All right, let's go. Number 3 is Davonte Adams. No surprise here, right? Come on. He was the number 3 wide receiver in half-point PPR. Check out the stats. He had 123 receptions on 169 targets and had 1,553 receiving yards. That's pretty much status quo for this dude, you know? He had 11 TDs, always scoring double-digit TDs, always up there. And he had 282 fantasy points, and he's played in 16 games, okay? So at the end of the day, this dude is money. He's going to catch for 1,600 yards. He's always going to be Aaron Rodgers' prime target. Yes, I know some people may be like, oh, is Aaron Rodgers going to leave? Is he going to go to Denver? Is he going to go here? Listen, I don't believe he will. You know, I like to see through the smoke. If something happens, it happens, but I'm not finna sit up here and make content and lose all my, my luscious hair because worrying about if he's going to leave or not. No, we're not going to do that here, okay? We'll address it when it happens, but outside of that, we're going to keep it moving. Listen, Davonte Adams, he is the man, okay? He ain't going to give you many clunkers. He's going to give you big games. He's going to help you win your week. You know, Aaron Rodgers at the helm, I don't believe Aaron Rodgers don't want to leave that type of rapport that he has with Davonte. Now, if Davonte leaves, if he gets traded because Green Bay is going in a whole rebuild, then obviously we're going to knock him down. But for now, we're going to just stay as if things are going to stay the same. We're going to talk about it just like that. And he has other counterparts like Allen Lazard and MVS. You know, we don't have to worry about that too much. They're complementary wide receivers, and they have their job. They're role players. He is the alpha in that wide receiver core, and there's no doubt about it. Easily, he's going to be, if Aaron Rodgers is there, he will easily be a top 5 wide receiver. If not the number 1, he can easily be the number 1. You know, Cooper Kupp had an outstanding season. It's going to be, and I'll venture to say that he won't duplicate that season. That don't mean he won't have a very good season, but he won't duplicate that season. So, and Deebo Samuels, and we talked about that in the previous episode, it's an easy path to Davonte Adams being the number 1 receiver this year if everything stays like it is. Davonte Adams is a monster. Don't have much to say about him. If you want to pick him as your number 1 wide receiver overall, over Kupp and over Deebo or anybody else, feel free to do so. You got my blessing if that's the route you want to take for wide receiver because he is automatic. And he averaged 17.7 points a game in half-point PPR. So, granted, Cooper Kupp averaged 21.5, but, that's 4 points. 4 points difference from somebody that had an amazing season that probably won't duplicate that. So easily, that can even out, or Davonte Adams can exceed that. So listen, I give Davonte Adams the thumbs up, and he should be sitting right around this wide receiver 3 at the end of the season next year for 2022. And to no surprise, the number 4 wide receiver in 2021 in half-point PPR was no other than Mr. Justin Jefferson himself. Look, he stepped up, and in his sophomore season, he came in and boom, right back to what he was doing beforehand and ended at number 4 in half-point PPR in 2021. Listen, again, these are one of these no-brainer type picks, when we're talking about the upper echelons of the wide receiver group. He had 108 receptions on 167 targets. That's basically 2 less targets than Davonte Adams. That means he's getting peppered. Granted, he did play 1 more game because Davonte Adams only played 16 games and Justin Jefferson played 17. But he had 167 targets. Always, when you ever get somebody that have 108 catches, and if they're explosive wide receiver, over 100 catches, and they're an explosive wide receiver, you're going to have hella results. You're going to have wide receiver 1 numbers. Remember, wide receiver 1 is anybody that finished in between the wide receiver 1 and the wide receiver 12 through all of the wide receivers in the NFL. That's called a wide receiver 1. He also had with his 100. He had actually had 1,616 yards. It's 1,616 yards. Listen, these yards are gonna be fruitful and plentiful. You know, so in 10 TDs, these guys are just they're like no miss candidates for your wide receivers. Okay, take and pick who you want. You know, Justin Jefferson averaged 16.3 points a game. That's 1 point less than Davonte Adams. Davonte Adams averaged 17.7. So almost it's like 1.4 points less. But it all depends what you prefer. You know, so I don't know many games in which I've seen that I played this year that I lost by like less than a point or anything. So sometimes you take the guy you like. You know, so 10 touchdowns. He had 276 fantasy points. That's 6 less than Davonte Adams, and he played in 17 games, like I said. So at the end of the day, he has Kirk Cousins, right? Kirk Cousins is not going anywhere. He's going to stay put, and he's going to be the main target. Okay, I know Adam Thielen. He might come with his little crutch and come walking back around, you know, trying to catch touchdowns and everything. He might, but I venture to say he might just lay it down, you know. But even if he plays, you know, he's not Adam Thielen he used to be, and I believe he'll miss significant time if he does come back, because I believe his wide receiver 2 spot is taken by KJ Osborne. You know, we've seen him, we've seen flashes. Listen, that's the youth there. They got 2 stud wide receivers there, and that's just going to be it. So I'll address Adam Thielen. I have a video coming out, you know what I'm saying, a day or two about that reference Adam Thielen. You know, just because I want to break up things a little bit. But nevertheless, this is about Justin Jefferson. He is awesome. Both these guys, Justin Jefferson is currently on the expert consensus rankings in Fantasy Pros, currently number 9 overall. And on the draft board. And Davonte Adams is number 10 overall. You know, which is kind of crazy, but hey, you know, I guess they kind of scared of the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. But it is what it is. Kirk Cousins, KJ Osborne, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson doesn't have anything to worry about. He's going to be a monster. You know, so those 2 guys are bulletproof. If you like these guys as your wide receiver 1, find it, Danny, click it, press draft, and sit back and enjoy and reap, okay? But at the end of the day, these 2 guys are going to be awesome. They will, outside of injury, they will be high-end wide receiver 1s at the end of 2022. Love both of these guys, so you have my stamp of approval if you're trying to rock that way. Listen, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Remember, if it's your first time, press like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And even if it's not your first time, press like for your boy. Support your boy. You're not a subscriber and not just going to be walking around here punching the like button for me. All right? So, you know, I appreciate that. And listen, I want to know one thing. If you were on the clock and it was time for you to pick a stud wide receiver, who would you pick out of Davonte Adams and Justin Jefferson? Let me know, guys. Hit the comments and let me know what you think, and I'll let you guys know what I think if I was on the clock. All right? Flawless Fantasy Football. Like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time.